Okay, I've seen this repair diagnosis done in other videos, but it's usually buried in a bigger video. So here's a really quick one for just determining if your rectifier or stator is bad on a shovelhead or if it's both. So how you know you have an issue? Well, the bike's on, and when you check with an a multimeter, you're only in the 12s, or maybe it's touching 13 volts, but obviously the system isn't charging, because you should see high 13s, even 14s at some RPMs. That's what keeps your battery charged. So in my case, I was barely touching 13%. Could it be a loose wire somewhere too along the way in your charging system? I guess, normally if there's a bad connection, it's usually an all or nothing or an intermittent, which you'd see. So we know the battery's okay because it's gotten charged in the past, and it's healthy enough, and that when the bike is running, we're not getting recharged essentially by, in this case, the stator and the rectifier. So how do we figure out which is it? Well, we take our multimeter. We're going to want to get the pointy bits, the probes, all right? And we come down here. And things are already disassembled, so we'll use our imagination. This is your rectifier. It changes the alternating current to direct to DC, goes to your battery, recharges your battery. Actually gets it within spec. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get your socket wrench, in this case with 82 Shovelhead, it's a 7/16 bit, 2 screws. This is normally sitting here. Take those 2 bolts out. I wish you could do it without doing it, but the plug that goes into your stator has long teeth, and I've tried to get it out. You're going to have to move this or at least shift it in order to get the plug out. So this is your rectifier. You can examine it, and if you're like mine, oh look, there's like a crack and some melty parts. That doesn't look good. So in all likelihood, something's wrong with the rectifier in this case. But what if it's also a combination, or if there's something wrong with the stator? How do I check that? Well, I removed that plug. It can be a little bit of a pain. And obviously you're doing this with the bike off. Wiggle this plug out, 2 big teeth or pins, and then you use your probes, plug it into the bike, and then turn this to, as opposed to DC current for the battery, instead of DC volts, AC volts. You then run the bike quickly and get to 2,000 RPMs. If that voltage is 30 and above, your stator's probably fine. It's making enough voltage to recharge the battery. If it's a number that's much lower than that, you might have a stator that's on the way out. And obviously, if you're not getting any charge, it's toast. It might be broken inside. The wire might be bad, the connector, whatever. So AC volts, and you should be seeing 30 or higher. If this is fine, in which case mine is, and then it's all likelihood your rectifier. If it's obviously cracked and leaking and all that, yeah, it's probably bad, which is why it's sort of working but not great. You'll have to get a new one. Hopefully it matches your bike. We'll see if this one does. It says it is the right size, and I got an all black one because, more horsepower that way. And you're just going to have to go around, find the wires, replace it. Again, it's got the same 2-pin, long pin head, and then another wire that goes up into your charging system, up into the left. So that's should be how you find whether you have a rectifier problem or a stator or a combination of both. If stators right now, 2024, Dennis Kirk, this was like $50. I've seen, the 50 to 80 bucks is what I typically see for various models. Then they make premium versions. This is an easy fix, so if this only lasts a couple of years, I'll replace it. But given how much miles you put on a sidecar bike, probably not going to be replacing it anytime soon. Hope this was helpful. We're under 5. just to add this to this a tiny bit, you're going to want to route the wires through the front, down through that slot down there, and then come around to the other side of the bike. You're going to want to use zip ties at various points. There's one, and then behind that flange, and then you come up behind these oil lines as best as possible. There's a tab in there with a bolt. That's like a hold down tab. It's a 1/2 inch bolt. So you'll need a 1/2 inch socket, and then come up and around, and it's going to meet up with your other power wires, or you could go directly to the positive side of the battery. But that's, you know, again, this is your charging output, so it's going to go to the positive side of your battery. And if it's working, when you fire the bike up, which I already know what this is going to do, 14s, turn the light on, can handle it, turn the fog lights on. Oh, they're already on. So 14 volts, even with all the equipment on, and so obviously it's charging, and yeah, the battery should sit around 12.7 I think is normal energy. So it's being charged as we speak. So anyway, hope that's helpful.